Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Oh God. Oh God.
Like yerba mate in them and stuff. So
Cheers.
Cheers. Ginger lemon.
Cheers. Okay, just let us know when we're ready, John. Oh, we're rolling? Oh my God, we're here. We're here. We're queer. Well, I am.
You are. I'm trying to be.
Well, you know what? We can't all be perfect.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into new space for the green room. I know this is like,
I love it.
I want to welcome everyone to the green room. I'm getting comfortable in my new space, so I want to welcome our guest. Let's first read your credentials.
Oh wow.
She is a BuzzFeed OG.
In a way, yes.
Yeah, you were one of the kind of originators. Been a TV writer for such shows as The Gordita Chronicles, Last Man Standing, Busy Tonight with Busy Phillips, and in 2004, she appeared as a badass assassin in the Netflix series The Brother's Son, and she recently wrapped her Dynasty Typewriter residency. Can we call it that? Residency? Yeah. Self-Help Me, a competitive self-care comedy show. She is a comedian, actress, writer, activist.
Oh, God.
Pizza party hostess, co-hostess.
Yes.
With the mostess.
Yeah.
Jenny the Yang.
Wow.
Jenny Yang.
Wow. Where's the applause? That was such a build-up. That was such a build-up. I can't handle it.
No, well, you're
amazing.
We've known each other for a while.
For a minute. We met at South by Southwest, being Asian and creative.
I remember you were with Lovey. Because we were, that's how we kind of connected. Like, I've known of you, of course. Yeah. And then I remember I immediately wrote something about
I like that
Lovey.
you said, of course.
Of course.
Like, I'd be offended if...
Well, you are... Well, first off, let's give a shout out to Purely Hand-Grown Greenhouse. This is not an ad. I just bought this. And also, Can
with a double N.
High Boy Ginger Lemongrass.
Look at that.
Yeah. So, I'm excited.
Thanks for the vibes.
Also, they're not a sponsor, but not against it.
Have you seriously considered the concept of this? Because if you get people to go green on your show, I'm knocking things.
But that's part of the journey. That's part of the journey. And I respect the journey.
You also said 2004 instead of 2024. Listen, if the host is green.
Listen, and if you know me, I came into this ready.
No, it's a great intro.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh.
But what is your relationship or your first time consuming cannabis? Like, how was your relationship started, and like, how is it now?
Let's see. I grew up a very good girl. Okay.
Work.
Little Jenny did not want. Did I sit too close? I think I realized I need to lean more. Is that okay? Is that better?
We're good.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, do you have a clock I could look at? Sorry.
That's a good idea.
A time. I don't mind looking at myself.
Here, want me to try to do this? Let's see. Is this a clock? Can this be a clock?
Oh, you were just gonna give me a. This is all part of the podcast.
Can you imagine?
We're trying to fill up an hour.
And we don't have much to talk about, so no, I'm just joking.
This is like when I was in a band and we put a piece of time where it's like you have to have your guitar. John breaks his guitar string now because we have to kill a couple minutes, and so it's like, oh.
So you timed it.
Oh wow.
Snap your string, buddy. We're running out of song.
I have a guitar that is missing a string. I used to play guitar.
What?
Well, I taught a little bit, and then I was like, okay. And then now I am in this point of my life where I want to learn to play the violin.
Oh.
I just want to learn to play that part in Paula Abdul's Rush Rush, that violin break.
Stop.
That's the only reason why I want to learn to play the violin. And I feel, yeah, that's good. And that.
I don't know if that desire is more Filipino or gay. Is that impulse Asian or is that impulse gay? It's hard to tell.
There's a lot to unpack there. There is a lot to unpack there. Oh, but yeah, okay. So,
cannabis.
you are a good girl, but
Okay, so listen, I grew up a good girl, so I didn't do any bad things. So it wasn't until I was in my 20s that like finally, like I straight up would play mahjong with this group of friends who are all Asian, and one day, and they like dabbled in recreational drugs, and one day one of them goes, "Jenny, do you have a vice?" And I was like she said that like an accusation.
Yeah.
And I was like, not really, sorry. I drink sometimes, I guess. And then at some point, one of those friends, my good friend Joe,
shout out to Joe,
smoked me out. He said, listen, I will be your guide for the first time. I will make, he like roasted pork loin.
What?
He, like, made a full dinner. We watched, this is a throwback, with the What the Bleep documentary about quantum physics. Like straight up.
That was a moment in history.
Yes. He said a whole evening to make sure I got a good high. I was
watch the
and then we watch What the Bleep about quantum physics and how like we're all like everything is in superposition and things only exist if you observe it.
Oh, I remember one time I got really stoned. It was like kind of one of the first time. It was when I was still in Texas and I was at a friend's house and we were watching Fight Club.
Yeah.
That's
a good one for
but
me.
It freaked me out.
Yes.
Are you a freaking out kind of stoner, or is it vary? Like when
for
you
the
smoke?
most part, I am pretty moderate. I just take a puff or two, or just a light ed, a light bull. Ed. I'm making up slang because I don't understand.
I didn't get that at first. You said Ed, and I was like, "Who's
Bull?
Ed?"
Yeah.
And then you added the bull.
I'm trying to be cool. Do you see how desperate I am?
But
to try to
listen,
be cool? Because I don't know the words. I don't know the lingo.
So, I got a reality check the other day. I went to the doctor, and check up, and I was like, "Everything's good." He was all, "But you know what it's time for?" And I was all, "What?" Colonoscopy, because I'm 45.
Oh my God! No one knows.
No one knows.
So you're gonna get a colonoscopy?
And that kind of was a marker of my age. And I was just like, oh, holy shit, we're talking about this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you are. I ain't talking about my age.
You're a lady.
I'm a lady.
You're...
no, I need to go back to the. I know we're trying to keep this going.
Yeah. Sorry, you're doing a better job than me.
No. But I was like
your weed journey.
My weed journey. The thing that it's such a classic thing where you're like, do I feel it? When am I feeling it? And there was a point at which I just started eating. I'm trying to tell a story, and then halfway between a word, I pause. And then he goes, "Uh-oh, there it is."
There it
and
is.
I was like, yeah, it just hit. So I remember the moment.
That's kind of cool. That's special. That's special. Okay, so, regardless where you were born, where do you call home?
I call home Los Angeles.
How long have you been in LA?
I was raised here. I was raised here. And then I went to New York for a hot second after college, but I've just lived all my adult life here. And I won't tell you how long because then you can.
Because then lady never tells her age.
Lady never tells.
Lady never tells. Well, gender is a construct as well. So
that's right. So age ain't nothing but a number.
Age? Come on, Aaliyah.
And if you get that reference, you can guess how old I am.
I've been open about my age because I just told this whole damn room that I'm getting a colonoscopy.
Listen, it's hot. It's hot to be.
It's hot to be colonoscopy. Or is there like a memorable moment in your life that kind of was like, this is the moment that defined that I wanted to go in this direction in entertainment or in comedy or what?
God, was there a defining moment?
Or was there a collection of moments? Like what is one moment? Yeah.
Defining moment. I did have a moment where I realized that I had to answer the siren call of creativity. No.
Not siren.
No. There was a moment.
Yeah. What was the call? Like
it was almost like a come to Jesus moment, the way that like some people describe those kinds of moments. But I was just so miserable, exhausted, overworked.
Because you weren't in entertainment at all.
I used to work in politics.
Which explains. We'll get into it later, which explains a lot about how good you are at community organizing.
Aw, thanks.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I used to work in politics, and I was so stressed out. I was going to punch my coworkers in the face if I didn't do something about it. And one of the things that I realized was I need to like hear the call when I need to be creative, because I've been creative all my life, and a writer and a performer. And so, there was a night where I was like, got so upset at myself. I was like, I can't live like this anymore. Like, it was dramatic. It was like one of those like, I can't sleep, you know? So
Yes.
at 11 p.m., I called.
You remember the time?
Yes, because it was late.
It was,
and I
and the siren called.
yeah, it was a siren call. And I didn't know who I could call at that time. And at that point, at 11 p.m. on a weeknight, I knew I could only talk to a couple people. And one of them is my friend Tracy Kato Kiriyama. They, they were my mentor and big sibling when it comes to like being a poet. I used to write and perform poetry.
Work.
And
Come on, Megan Thee Stallion.
And then, anyway, I knew that they would be up all night. At 11 p.m., they would have slammed a couple espresso shots and a boba, and would be writing poetry all night. So I called at 11 p.m. I said, can I come down and see you? Drove down to Gardena, shot down the 110 freeway, went to their house.
Come on, local reference.
And they just hugged me, and they knew. They just knew.
It was time.
Yeah, because I said, I just realized I really need to honor this creative side of me, and I can't live like this anymore. It was so dramatic, you know?
But, I mean, sometimes you need that drama where you're like, oh, I'm going to be a writer.
Yeah.
The siren has called, so
Yes.
I have to.
No, totally.
I get
I want to
it.
write, I want to perform. And so I would say that's one of my little origin stories.
I love that.
Life's
love
too
that.
short.
But also, it's like, I love that you found already, despite, we're not going to say ages or whatever, but like you found like a community already. Like
Yes.
it was already readily available and you knew it was there, which was.
I had a creative community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas my ass in Texas.
I'm sorry.
I had community friends. That's great. But what was your first, I guess, your first real job? I get, how everyone has a quote unquote real job in the entertainment industry, like something where, like mine was Deadline, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, what was your kind of like, oh my God, I've made it?
Oh, I don't know about made it.
Or not? Wait,
But,
at
I'm
that time
in
you thought,
the door.
yeah.
I would say that two parts. One, around 2013, I was on the ground floor of when BuzzFeed Video started with the first 4 director producers. And I happened to know one of them, and they were like, do you want to come throw a tantrum like a toddler out in Larchmont? And I'm like, yes, let's do it. And that made me a regular freelancer for BuzzFeed Video when it blew up, and it allowed me to have visibility online as well as with like college students. And so they like asked me to perform at their colleges, and that was a good gig. And so that was one way that I really was able to get a foot in the door in entertainment. And then at the same time, I also booked an assistant job for a producer on an NBC sitcom called Whitney on the second season.
Oh, Whitney. Okay, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was the assistant to the producer. There was like 12 PA/assistants for this multicam sitcom. And I was the only one that wasn't related to someone above the line, which means a fancy person.
Work.
And so I knew that this was a special job. And I found out that in Hollywood, assistants eventually rule the world. You have to start somewhere. And so I felt very lucky to get an assistant job. After that, I was able to be an assistant to the producer for the 3rd season of Key and Peele on Comedy Central. That was amazing.
I didn't know that.
No, most people don't know that. So that was a huge education in how to produce comedy, both multicam, big network television one, as well as, single camera Comedy Central, sketch. It was amazing. It was a huge education.
Yeah, I love that you've already that goes into what I was going to ask you next. You've been in all these writers' rooms, and you've been behind the scenes on a lot of these shows, and you were in the room of the 2nd season of Brother Son,
That's
R.I.P. But how has being in all these different writers' rooms, different productions, even like Key and Peele and all that, how has that even, and you said you learned about production, but how has that informed where you wanted to go? Like, did it change? Did it morph with each kind of pit stop you made?
Yeah, I think watching how Whitney Cummings ran the show and how stressful it was for her, I was like, I don't know if I need to be that girl. Because that looks stressful. She's the star and she's like running the room or being a part of the writer's room. That it seemed very hard. That did give me more exposure to the writer's room.
Okay.
Just be like, oh,
Nice.
that's cool that they can like hang out all day and like cracking jokes. You know, it's more than that. But so that was cool. It's also where I got the education of how like the culture of a production works. Like, you know that you can go to the grip department for a shot of tequila or whiskey. You know you can go to, you know, whoever else.
The best boy for the best for a joint.
Right. I don't know. Or, you know, or like who to go to, be friends with the crafty. So
Word.
always get the good drinks and food. Anyway, so that's what I learned from that. I forgot the question already.
No, yeah, you answered it. I asked you, how's it informed your direction of your career and all that? We answered it somewhere in there.
I didn't answer the question of what kind of high person I am. And
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm pretty mellow, but when the times when I've like definitely taken a bigger dose than I needed to, I probably took a sativa or something because it definitely got me nervous. Like one night I had so much dosing that like I was trying to fall asleep to watching, you know, that television series
Oh, sorry.
with Claire Danes, you know, where she like
My So-Called Life?
no.
Oh.
Where she
Oh,
like was in the Middle
Homeland?
East. Oh my god. One of my bad highs was trying to fall asleep while watching Homeland. And I swear to God, I thought that the characters were talking to me. Like I thought I was implicated in a conspiracy to take down the American government.
Oh my God. And it's like, and Claire Danes so good on that show and so believable. And she's like the quiver lip cry queen. Dating all the way back to My So-Called Life.
Yes.
Were you a My So-Called Life fan?
I watched it later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I actually watched it growing up, which is why on ABC when it aired.
Wow.
And what do you like as watching it? When did you watch it first? Like, recent?
In my 20s.
How did you like it?
Yeah. It's a slower, but it's like a mellow teen drama.
Come on, Wilson Cruz. So, you are one of the best people I know who can connect the appropriate people with the appropriate people. You know, I feel like, and it's like, I think, and then like you and like, you know, and Corey, shout out to Corey, y'all host these like really good, and I remember these fun events.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, you know, when you go and you're organizing that it's going to be good people.
Oh.
So like, where did you get this kind of talent for brokering relationships and like organizing? Like, you're a good person from how far I know you, like a good judgment of character.
Thank you.
Like gather like all these dope people.
Thank you.
No pun intended.
This guy.
Get a load of this guy. No, no, but
You know, you're officially a goober.
yeah, I know.
Goober.
I'm also midlife crisis. But no, where did you get this? I'm not just kissing your ass because it is very. Like when you and Corey host, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be. I don't have to put on airs. I know it's gonna be businesslike, but not businessy. You know, like I know there's not gonna be. Let's face it, there's not gonna be like starfuckers. There's not gonna be people there.
Yeah.
So there's
everyone's
this
pretty chill. Yeah.
Yeah, you foster really good safe spaces for people. Where did that come from?
Oh, I take that as such a huge compliment.
Of course.
Yeah, you know, I want to live a life where I can feel less alone and other people can feel less alone. That's like one of my little missions in life.
Nice.
And so I think very early on, I realized that, especially for those of us who didn't grow up in a nuclear family or a biological family that they felt like they could feel a sense of family with, I was always searching to recreate that or to create that for myself in my adult life, you know? And so that's a big part of why I went into like politics or leadership.
yeah.
You know, it was just like, how do you get a group of people to cooperatively work together for a singular goal? You know?
Yeah.
And that's frankly been my lifelong kind of like thing that I love learning about ever since I was a good girl student body president nerd in high school.
You were the student body president?
I was. Of a
Who-
big public high school.
Do you remember, did you run against like multiple people, or
I did run against people.
was it a tough campaign?
No, it wasn't. It's messed up.
Wait, was it like a landslide? Like,
I
were
don't
you,
know if we know the percentages. We just knew.
do you remember the person you went up against?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who was it?
I'm not gonna say his name.
Oh, okay.
I
But
think he ended up being like a Republican guy. He was like the head of like the Republican student.
I didn't know it went that deep. I thought this was just regular. That's intense.
But like he was the only one that was trying to play that political game. No one else cared. All we cared
in
about
high school.
We had a very well-resourced student government, and we like threw a party every week, literally at the school, that would sell out 700 tickets with DJs, everything. Like we had an assembly every week. I had an office. We had council
high
chambers.
school?
Yes, it was a very fancy. Shout out to Torrance, North High
Shout out
School.
Torrance.
Torrance.
Not Torrance.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it was well resourced, and it was like kind of cool to be on student council. Like they were all like the homecoming king and queens and popular kids, and we were all like did sports as well as did well in school.
Were you giving Tracy Flick energy from election? No.
Yes.
You
Eventually,
were?
yes. Oh yeah, because I ended up thinking I was better than my friends
You probably were.
who were
but
all in student government, and so I stopped being their friends. Kind of. These are kids I grew up with.
But
And then they ended up being arrested for stealing the master key. There's a whole lot here.
That is
Asians gone bad.
that is a Better Luck Tomorrow Part 2.
It is.
And it's also giving that episode of 90210 where Steve Sanders had the master key. I don't know if you watched
I don't
90210.
remember. Yes.
So there was like when he graduated, like they were all, we have this master key that you could get, I guess files or shit.
It's so funny. That's what my friends did.
So
They like changed their grades. They got arrested. They got caught. It was a whole thing.
that's so bling ringy. It's so
know.
wild. You
Anyway,
have a life. You have a
I've
very
had a life
storied
ever since high school. Listen, I've been in politics ever since high school. Then in college.
But us also, it kind of goes back to kind of like politics and why you're good at community organizing.
So to me, it always mattered. Like, how do we like come to agreement on like doing things that could be greater than us? You know, that's like
Listen.
it's like that's so powerful to me.
Yeah, I love that because after 9 years, almost 10 years in LA, it's like, I'm finally realizing, there's more to life than Hollywood. That
Yes.
kind of energy.
Tino,
Yeah,
can we talk about that? I just had
yeah.
my therapy session today.
I have therapy
Listen.
tomorrow, but we could start now.
Listen, I had my therapy session, and I just realized I will always need to nurture this wound
Yeah.
of like, I won't be good enough if I don't perform, if I don't achieve.
Yes.
That's
there.
just frankly like where it's like I don't deserve, like in my worst I'll be like I don't deserve good things because to be human requires proving that you deserve things. That's
Yeah.
the negative, unhealthy mentality that I was born into me.
Do you think I think that's a general thing, but under the Asian diaspora, I feel like there's extra weight there.
Yeah. And the pressure of being responsible.
Yeah.
So I've been overly responsible all my life. So the rest of my life is just is a practice and an exercise and being way less responsible if I could afford it. And so I'm still working on it. All right.
Me too.
You know?
I think it's hard. I mean, I've reached this point in my career, after Deadline, and I kind of saw my friend circle and my professional circle contract. Like, not in this way where everyone was like, or like, it's just natural. I can't do things for stuff. I can't.
Right.
But I felt like even after leaving Deadline, I was constantly still chasing that. Right? And that's
That's not good.
Yeah. And I'm still like, oh no, if I get done with work at 2 or 3, if I get done with all I needed to do, then I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that this is healthy growth. This is
I
healthy
hope
growth.
so.
Because we can't over-identify with our work. We're human beings, not human doings. All of that.
Come on, Human Doings. No, but also, wait,
Have you not heard of this?
I haven't heard Human Doings. Oh, where did Corey go?
No, we're human beings, not human doings, and we deserve dignity and compassion and love, regardless of what we accomplish.
I always reference the interview that Chloe Sevigny did with Vanity Fair when she said,
icon.
Yeah, icon.
A Los Angeles hating icon, but it's fine.
That's what she was saying. And they asked her, what city would you not want to live in? And she said LA. And we were all, ha ha ha, New Yorker. But then she started listing the reasons, and it was all, ooh, you're dragging us and you are calling me out. She was all, no city has made me feel more insecure. True. And also to live in a city that was built around your career. There's something, shit where you eat kind of energy.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, and then when she said that kind of has been echoing in my head every
like,
time.
Am I Chloe Sevigny?
Yeah, I am Chloe. Like, but also it's just like I hinge a lot, especially in this industry, we hinge a lot of our identity on our work.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think I thought that I was immune to that because I grew up here. I have friends who don't work in the industry. You know what I mean? I know what life is like. I know how to relate to the city as a non-Hollywood person. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, but I have that, and I have that security in me. But even then, I've felt weird feelings, of like either being rejected or, not respected a certain way or whatever. You know what I'm saying? In an entertainment context.
Yeah, and like also we work in this industry, especially within our own Asian Hollywood of it all. I found that like while working at Deadline and like giving people a service, I felt like this sounds so horrible. That was the only way I could make friends in this industry, right?
Oh, Dino.
Isn't that like weird?
Have you talked to your therapist about this?
Oh my God, that just came in my mind right now. It's like, but it's like always been there.
For you.
But it's like,
I hate that for you. But we need to stop. I feel things.
But isn't that the way this industry kind of is, though, which is so toxic?
I don't think you should assume that.
Well, I mean, this is what I'm working on. Like, I know that's not true now, but it's like, I knew that my actions in the past were more of like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, if I write about the community, I'll be accepted. Isn't that really like conditional love energy?
Yes, and that's heartbreaking to me.
Yeah.
And I think even though you thought that, and even though that might be a dynamic that happens because as an outcome of your byline showcasing Asian American voices, people will recognize you, and sure, you might actually achieve what you thought you will. But isn't that just an awful way to live?
And I think. And also, I think that's just been my life a lot, people pleasing, and like
needing to prove yourself that you deserve someone's love or attention.
Oh my God, come on, therapy session. But also it's like both my parents, immigrants.
Yeah.
But my dad joined the U.S. military to come to America, and I understand where my parents were coming from. Like they raised us in interesting ways.
Yep, interesting ways. I get that.
But it's just like I understand.
Yeah.
I don't exactly forgive sometimes,
yeah,
but I understand.
Yeah, you don't have to forgive.
But it's like it is very people-pleasing energy from me. But you did, speaking of therapy, the Self-Help Me show. Yeah, it was great, and I loved it. I was there. Well, I went to most shows. Yeah, I want to say I missed maybe
You're so
two.
Awesome.
Two or three.
You're so awesome for coming to so.
Of course,
shows.
But
these were funny shows. It's not like I had to pull teeth. Okay.
No, and also you had some dope ass people and experts. It was a very well-rounded show, and it ended on a good note, emotional note,
very emotional.
So about fertility, and it kind of like brought a lot up to me and like men in general or people with penises. But and also kind of thinking of like what women go through. I hope my sister has stories. I don't want to blow up my sister's spot.
Yeah.
But if you have a woman with a uterus in your family,
yes,
you have to just have a modicum of empathy.
It's hard to have empathy when you actually really don't know what's going on because like female sexuality womb health is like a mystery to most people, not just people with wombs, you know, and like medical science hasn't studied it. Like straight up, when you think back to like, why did my doctor tell me crazy shit that didn't feel like it fit with my problems with like my like nether region? It's because they're not trained to. Like they're literally not qualified.
Oh my
Truly,
God.
whether like and if they're a woman and giving you advice, then maybe they'll like know more firsthand stuff. But medical school, Western medicine has not focused at all on researching, you know, the reproductive health of women, reproductive health of people with wombs. It's just not it. And so, this has been an educational process. Man, the moment I got pregnant, I was like, damn, this is an education because I had to live through the body changes of it. When I got a miscarriage, trigger warning,
Trigger
pregnancy
warning.
loss,
Yeah.
you know, just like my body, I felt like an animal. Like I was like, and I was experiencing feelings and hormones I never had before. And I was like, I am forever changed. Like, I can't believe women just do this, you know, and how do we not know this as someone who I could have gotten pregnant at any point? How did I not know of any of these details? So anyway, Self-Help Me, I did a 2-year residency at the Dynasty Typewriter, just ended the run. And to end it on talking about fertility was actually very meaningful for me because it was also the hardest topic for me. It was also the topic, one of the topics that I kind of pushed off until the very end. And I just, so I'm glad, I'm proud of myself for doing it. You can still, you know, I'll probably put it up for streaming at some point on my own.
Oh, yeah, you should. And like, and you had Kimiko, how do you say it?
Kimiko Glenn.
Yeah, and
Sabrina Jalise and Dylan Adler.
Okay, Dylan on the panel was really funny, and I felt like it was also good to have him there as this like cathartic release or like a punching bag. That, but he was like
only cis man, and he's gay. He doesn't want kids, and the rest of us are crying over our fertility.
And he was up
heartbreak. And he was like, I don't know what to say. I'm only 26, you know?
But I think
he's such a baby.
It was a good kind of, not watering down of the content, but it was a good balance. Again, going to your...
Listen, I know how to produce shows.
Yeah,
I know how to produce talent.
That's what it is.
She knows how to curate a booking.
And also, going back to your community organizing.
Yeah, I think...
It kind of helps with your producing, you think?
Yeah, I think knowing people, reading people... understanding them is a big part of my people skill set, you know?
I like that.
And you know, having between 2013 and 2018 for 5 straight years, I produced 2 comedy shows a month, nonstop.
That's a lot.
One of which was always in LA and one of which was always in another city in the country. And I did that for 5 years. And during that time, I also produced 4 comedy festivals in LA. So
doing the work.
So to me, being able to produce a show, knowing what a good experience could be for an audience, knowing what a good experience it could be for the audience, given who you book, who you pair together. To me, I love that stuff, you know? Producing in that way, knowing casting, talent.
That's good. And you're, and like the way you curated the guest on Self-Help Me was just... I think it was just so fun, and you get to learn about new comedians.
Learn about new self-care topics.
And then you had experts on.
Always an expert on stage.
The last show, Dr. What's her name?
Dr. Giselle.
Giselle. So
she's a fertility acupuncture specialist.
So she made, because like I was like, oh, she probably is more focused there. So it made me want to go find an acupuncturist.
Yeah.
So I found one.
Great.
And I'm going next week.
Oh my God, I love inspiring self-care.
Yes. Because you're a self-care queen, you know. I'm going to take a quick snack break.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna grab something here that I just have here. Okay, so here, because
what you got?
I always pass by. I don't know how your Trader Joe's shopping habits are.
Oh.
Trader Joe's. Yeah, right. And sometimes you just see a snack and you're like, oh, not now.
Right.
But then today was now.
Yes.
So, so we're gonna try I haven't tried these meat crab snackers.
Oh, especially when they
do the Asian stuff.
Then you're like, I gotta judge for myself.
Like the ube explosion that happened at Trader Joe's, I appreciate.
Right.
But I was all bitches. Filipinos been doing that.
Ube Explosion is a great drag name.
Yeah,
for you.
good drag name.
That's your drag name, Ube Explosion.
I have a drag name. I have multiple that just like come up in my head. My main one right now is Mother Tongue.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Right? It's very commanding.
Mother Tongue, fantastic.
Taking the main stage.
Is Mother Tongue.
And it will be Father Figure by George Michael.
I love Father Figure.
Yeah.
Can I be Father Figure if I do? I'm a drag bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, a drag king.
I don't know. Are you a drag race girly or you're like casual?
Yeah.
You know of the queens.
Yes, I know of the prominent queens.
Okay. Because right now they're doing a season where it's Canada's Drag Race versus the world.
Oh.
So it's like Canada is the home team.
Right.
And then like queens from the other franchises come and compete against them.
Wow, good try Canada.
Yeah.
Listen.
But Canada's doing good. Okay, so here, do you want to...
Meat crab snackers.
Okay, they're stuck together. I don't
know, guys. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is so much.
Yeah, it looks like a Rice Krispie treat.
Why am I scared? Here we go.
Yeah.
It looks like a Rice Krispie treat that probably is heavily spiced. It's a little sticky.
It's a little oily.
Yeah, it's got cashews.
Oh, these are good.
It tastes like this fish sauce.
These are good. Oh yeah. You want more? These are good. Wait. So, what are your preferred snacks? What is there a snack that you have a fond childhood memory of?
Traditional Taiwanese shaved ice.
What is that exactly?
That is basically your basic shaved ice, but you put in stewed peanuts. Just bear with me. Stewed peanuts,
I get it. Mm-hmm.
Red beans, green beans, lemongrass jelly. It's like grass jelly, not lemongrass.
It's giving hollow hollow.
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a mochi or two, maybe a taro mochi, maybe a boba now that's not as traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Some brown sugar syrup, some condensed milk. But yeah, there's also like a dark grass jelly that you can put on top too.
I'm familiar with the dark grass jellies.
But I love, to me, the holy trinity is the red bean, green bean, and the stewed peanuts.
Stewed peanuts,
very traditional Taiwanese.
Don't sleep on stewed peanuts. But
also good.
Yeah, these are good. Trader Joe's. I know you don't sponsor people, but congratulations.
It's like someone. You know what it is? It's like someone like turned pad thai into a
Rice Krispie treat. Come on, meat crab is an actual dish, though. I feel. Thai listeners, call in, and we will solve this mystery.
This takes me to the Pearl River Delta.
Come on, geography. I don't know. Okay. So now we are coming to the close of the show.
Oh wow.
We've talked about a lot. We went on a journey. So now, in the tradition of Inside the Actor's Studio.
I obsessed with that show.
James Lipton.
Growing up. Oh my God. Obsessed. Before I knew I wanted to act and write or do comedy, obsessed with the show.
The one episode I do remember a lot of episodes. One of the main answers that I remember is when Cate Blanchett was on there and they asked her favorite curse word.
Yeah.
And she didn't say cunt. She just spelled it out.
C-U-N-T.
Yeah. And I appreciated that.
Wow. She's a lady.
Classy lady.
She's a classy lady.
So this is my not so Proust questionnaire.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's do it. Okay. If I asked your friends what they admire most about you, what do you think they would say?
That I love to bring people together for good vibes.
Music brings the people together. You're like Madonna.
I just had a weird burp. Okay. My body.
When are you at your happiest?
Oh my goodness. I am at my happiest laughing, eating good food with friends.
Look!
Oh my God. Am I at my peak enjoyment right now?
This is it. It's all downhill from here. When are you at your lowest?
Oh my God.
Oh no.
At my lowest when I probably haven't taken time to rest. Because I'll just go.
Grumpy, sleepy.
No, because what happens is I just become emotionally and spiritually exhausted, which happened not too long ago. I'm still recovering. And it just makes me turn on myself. I have those negative thoughts. You don't deserve good things, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever the thing it is that is your core little mother wound, mother tongue.
Your inner saboteur.
My inner saboteur.
Your inner saboteur.
And so that's when I feel...
The lowest.
Yeah, when I don't take care of myself and I just kind of feel burnt out. And
if you were a wrestler, what would your entrance music be?
Oh.
Anything from any...
I mean...
We're workshopping this.
Listen, I'm having a hard time because it's... To be a wrestler, that's like...
It's a lot of pressure?
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And this has to kind of name your brand. It has to, as soon as we hear this, we are like, oh no, Jenny is coming.
I'll just tell you this. Obsessed with Chappell Roan songs right now.
Chappell Roan's having a moment.
Listen.
And she was at Fazia's movie screening, wasn't she?
That we were all at.
Shout out to Fazia and Queen of My Dreams.
So if I were to walk out to my wrestling match, it would be probably like some fucking Chappell Roan banger like Femininomenon.
I see
Femininomenon. Just to me, just an annoying
I'm
made-up
still
word.
catching up on the Chappell Roan of it all.
She's so good.
She's great. But I'm still catching up because
she gives good girl pop anthem.
I'm scheduling my colonoscopy, so I'm catching up. Okay. When was the last time you laughed so hard you almost peed your pants?
I don't know. Probably giggling with my guy, Corey.
Aw, giggling with my guy, Corey.
Are you gonna write a musical? Is that happening?
That is, and that's the name of it. It's called Giggling with My Guy, Corey. When's the last time you cried? Oh my God.
Today?
Me too! This morning when I woke up.
Oh. Were you just feeling things?
Yeah, I was feeling things. And then I meditated. That's so LA, I'm sorry. Then I was fine.
No, but you know, I feel like if you've lived most of your life where you feel like you had to like do things to get love, and you're turning that ship around right now.
Yeah, it's a journey.
You're gonna have to mourn every day. Straight up. I'm telling you, you little overachieving Asian kids, let me talk to you directly.
Especially Gen X over age.
Yes, but just any little overachieving immigrant kid. I need y'all to know that once you make the decision, okay, to not have to please everyone, you're going to have to mourn the childhood you never had.
Oh.
That means you're going to cry every day at some point.
I saw this on Drag Race. One of the queens said this. Don't let that hurt child make your grown-up decisions.
Oh! Listen, human being, not human doing. We're learning here in the green room.
The green room is not just about weed, guys. It's about love and learning. Have you ever asked to speak to a manager at a retail or restaurant establishment?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember? Is it? What I'm guessing within reason.
Of course. I am one of those Asians that like learned from white people that like you're supposed to like ask for things and give feedback. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know that until I got to college, and all of a sudden I like was around a bunch of like privileged white people, and I was like, how do they move? How do they work?
So, oh my God, mimicry.
Not mimicry, just learning their culture, like
learning white culture.
I mean,
representation matters, guys.
These are very privileged, educated white people. I learned how they worked, and I was like, oh, this is what you do. They're very good at a very strongly worded, well-written letter. Do you know how far you can get with that?
Excuse to whom it may concern. Colon, not comma.
Not colonoscopy.
Comma is too casual.
Comma's too casual.
Yeah. Okay. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh gosh, I've attempted all the things.
What haven't you attempted?
I know.
Astronaut. You want to be an astronaut? We can make it happen.
But the thing is that like if I say director, that's still within my field,
well,
right?
something like what other thing that has always interested you, like shoemaker, cobbler?
Probably doing some kind of food or beverage
person,
impresario.
Oh, like a couple noodles magnate.
Whatever.
Yeah,
it could be a product. It could be lifestyle. Listen, I might go into that.
Lifestyle brands.
I might go into that.
Know your brand, everyone.
Yeah.
Know your brand.
I'm obsessed with food and drink.
I love it. Okay. If there was one person living or dead that you could be for 24 hours, who would it be?
living or dead I could be for 24 hours? This is such a big question.
It is.
What am I going to do?
I mean, this isn't in stone.
It isn't.
But if you want to, like, correct your answer, we could put it up on our Instagram later. But what are you feeling right now? Who would?
You know what? Honestly, I would love to know what it's like to live as The Rock for a day.
Ooh.
Not because, like, I want to be him, but I'm just very curious about his life.
Because he seems like he's always on.
Always on.
Like,
he must not
sleep. He doesn't sleep.
He's one of those like Mark Wahlberg, I sleep 4 hours.
Or he sleeps at like 8 p.m. and wakes up at 1 a.m. or something like that.
And then starts a day full of triple workouts.
Yeah, and like very Rocky. It's giving Rocky, but modern.
Like,
don't eat. I'm not encouraging eating raw eggs, everyone, but if that's your piece, that's your truth. Go on.
But yeah, I just imagine he spends most of his days staring at his body.
No,
working out, staring at his body, getting fitted for custom suits.
And
that's
Zoom calls, probably.
Lots of Zoom calls. A lot of
what about this? Go for Dwayne. Go for Johnson.
Go for
I did do a Q&A with him once, but it was virtual.
Yeah.
It was for Young Rock.
Yeah.
And he was very professional. And
yes.
He would be his like tequila brand was in the background.
Of course.
Yeah. And then after every question I asked, and he would be all, well, do you know? I was like.
He's like a good politician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Be The Rock. And finally, what do you like most about me?
About you? Oh, Dino, I love that you included that question.
You last minute change. What do you like most about me?
I love the most about you is how passionate you are for our community. That's one of the main things. That is one of the things that I picked up on very early on.
Oh my God.
That you really put your heart into what you wrote always, how you connect with people, and who you would get to know.
I might cry.
I think you should. I think you deserve to be filled up.
Well, I cried already.
No,
today.
but like I think you deserve to be filled up, and I think the green room should be a place for you to feel that way.
That's why I kind of started this, and I'm like, I know I've had podcasts in the past, but I feel like this is a different.
You get to be more yourself.
Yeah, this is.
And also, the other quality I love about you is you're always ready to giggle with me.
Listen.
Which I always love, because I'll just see you randomly at an event, and then I always know I could look at you and we giggle. Giggle.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Well, Jenny.
That's me.
That's you. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast, having a little bit of greenness with me.
Listen,
and being vulnerable.
Oh,
and also,
listen, it's her brand.
It's your brand, and we learned so much about each other that we didn't already know. Right?
That's true.
Is there anything you want to plug?
I don't know.
Social. Are you still on the media?
So I am slowly edging into making more content.
Okay. Are you on Threads?
I'm on Threads. Bitch, find me on Threads.
And the Instagram.
TikTok. I'm going on TikTok more. I'm going on Instagram more. And Threads.
And hopefully your the final Dynasty typewriter show will be up in the near future.
Well, I'm gonna be moving what was mostly a live show onto social media and onto online. So watch out for that. It's not done. Oh no. I mean, listen, if I could build an entire self-help me empire, I will.
Oh, and speaking of that, I this is a new thing. I want to start giving away gifts to my guests, because these are gifts. They're fun, but they're all gifts I've received as press giveaways from the past.
That is so smart. Honestly, it's so smart. It's so sustainable. What a sustainable king.
I know, right? So here we go. I'm gonna give you. Here is a Hello Kitty compact.
Oh my God!
Look at that.
Yes.
It says Kawaii compact mirror.
Oh my God! Yes.
To go with Kitty, even though it's not. She's not. Apparently, she's not a cat. Hello Kitty's not a cat.
Yeah.
It's like a little girl. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll go opposite. And it's a copy of The Power of the Dog.
Oh, wow.
The movie that everyone claimed to like, but everyone immediately forgot. It won the Oscar or some shit. But there you go.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, hold on, one more thing.
Oh, what happened?
A Curl Can Dream.
Stop.
Scrunch and Go defining spray. So here you go.
Oh my God. This is this is how it feels to leave my parents' house. Do you know what I'm saying? You go to your immigrant parents' house or your grandma or auntie, and they'll be like, "Here's a curl spray
And a book.
a book,
And a Hello Kitty compact. Listen, here in the green room, gifts are galore.
Thank you.
Love
I
is
appreciate
galore.
it. I feel the love. Thank you for having me. You know, you should change more of those questions to give you love.
Oh my God.
I think
Look
you
at
should.
you giving
You deserve
back.
it because you deserve it.
Thank you.
And it breaks my heart. Listen, we don't need to keep this in the podcast. It breaks my heart to know that you had felt that in order to live in LA, that you felt like you could only really connect with people by giving them something.
And I think that's a lot how people are thinking now, especially within the Asian diaspora, I feel.
Really? I don't want to generalize.
Yeah, I mean, I from the people I speak to, or like how I just notice how people interact.
Yeah.
But Jenny, thank you so much. I'm so glad you did this.
Of course.
And shout out to Corey. Corey's in the audience.
Shout out to my partner Corey.
But oh my God, I love getting high, and well, we didn't get high. We just went green. I love how you say went green.
Listen, this is the green room, right?
Yeah.
So use the euphemism.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Jenny, and thank you all for listening.